Sugar Sean. I'm back for another video, and welcome back to another episode of I Said What I Said. This is where I share my uncensored, unfiltered, and unapologetic thoughts and opinions on things that matter to me. And the word on the street right now is the slap heard round the world. Last night was the Oscars. It was live, and Will Smith, after hearing a joke from Chris Rock in reference to his wife, he actually got up on stage and slapped him. What did the five fingers say to the face? But anyway, I know I'm cracking jokes because I'm just like, I'm still in a little bit of shock, but I'm gonna talk about my thoughts and opinions on it, and I would love for you guys to weigh in. So, now this is where I'm at. I do believe that people can do the wrong things for the right reasons. And the reason why I say that is because this man is defending his wife, who has an autoimmune issue, which has caused her to lose her hair. And so for somebody making fun of the fact that she's bald is in poor taste, because it's different if she like shaved her head bald than if she actually had no choice and lost her hair. Now, if you don't know exactly what I'm talking about, Chris Rock actually went up there and, you know, made an offhanded comment about how Jada Pinkett-Smith could star in the G.I. Jane 2. Now, if you missed it, G.I. Jane 1 was starring Demi Moore years ago, and she shaved her head bald. So he was just making the joke. And Will Smith, his immediate reaction, his gut reaction, instinct reaction was to laugh like everybody else. But when he looked over and saw that Jada wasn't laughing, in fact, she was shaking her head and cutting her eyes and all that, that's when he realized that it offended her. And that's when he got up, went on stage, slapped Chris Rock, some would say the taste out of his mouth, and then proceeded to go back to his seat, not even calmly. Because from his seat, he could be heard saying, "Keep my wife's name out of your bleeping mouth." He said it not once, but twice, dropping the F-bomb on live television. To me, it was the epitome of like not having any sense of self-control, no sense of self-awareness. It's like, if this was a bar and there was somebody who was saying something inappropriate to your wife and you're like, if I don't do something right here and right now, I'll never get a chance to defend her. This is different because Will Smith could have easily went and, just like how he got up on stage, he could have went backstage and confronted Chris Rock there at the after party. And there are so many opportunities. It's not like they don't run in the same circles, like he would never see this man again. You had plenty of opportunities to do so. Why choose that moment? And there's so much more to it. So this particular Oscars was produced by Will Packer, who is a famous movie maker. This is one of the first times I believe that the Oscars were so black in a way, because they had like black lighting and black videographers and photographers, and this black director brought in so many black people. This night was supposed to represent black excellence, but instead of that story being at the forefront, you get this world star moment between Chris Rock and Will Smith. And I you know, I feel like on social media, everybody's sort of torn about, you know, what the reaction should be, because some people will say, well, I would want my husband to defend me if somebody, you know, said something, you know, rude or cruel about me. But there's a time and a place for everything. And I don't think that was the time, nor was it the place. Because like I said, he had plenty of opportunities to have that conversation, pull him to the side. Even if you still wanted to go to blows with him, you could have said, catch me outside. But not catch me on stage, live, in front of all of us. Like, I feel like nobody was even watching the Oscars. I wasn't watching it, hubby wasn't watching, none of that. But our Twitter blew up, everybody was talking about it. That's the only reason why we tuned in, just for Will Smith to end up winning. And instead of apologizing immediately, like that being the first words that fell out of his lips, "I'm sorry to the Academy and to everyone for my behavior. I'm sorry to Chris Rock." I don't think he even apologized to Chris Rock in the acceptance speech. So you still couldn't take accountability? You got Pastor Denzel Washington kneeling beside you, telling you that, you know, the bigger you get, the more the devil comes for you. You got people trying to calm you down. Sir, this was an embarrassment. This was a shame. I hate the fact that when a black person does something, that it reflects poorly on all of us as a race. Like, how is that fair? It's not fair, but it happens. For some people, this is their only access to blackness, and they see something like this and they say, see, I told you those people are animals. See, I told you they're inherently violent. See, I told you, and it gives them, you know, ammunition to try to use against us. And that's unfortunate, and it's unfair, and it's unwarranted. But then, like I said, I'm torn because on the other side of the spectrum, as Malcolm X once said, black women are the least protected group of people in the world. And you think about Ketanji Brown Jackson, the black woman who was going up to be the next member of the Supreme Court, and how they were just giving her these horrible questions and just bashing her and insulting her and all this rude stuff they were doing to her during her confirmation hearing last week. And you'll have people standing up for her. And it's like, at what point will somebody say, you can't just keep making jokes about black women? It's not okay. Did Chris Rock know that Jada Pinkett-Smith had alopecia and that she didn't shave her head bald, but her hair fell out? It's not the same thing. Like, you wouldn't make fun of a cancer victim for not having any hair because they had no control about that. Then why make fun of Jada? How are we all supposed to assume that he knew? You know what I mean? Like I said, I'm torn. Not really torn. I'm not really torn. I think, like I said in the beginning, that people can do the wrong things for the right reasons. And I think people have been saying that Will Smith is soft for quite some time. And this was the opportunity to prove that he's not as soft as people think. He's like, I'm from Philly. Boy, you've been from Philly. Okay? But you know what? That's neither here nor there. And then I also feel like, if you've ever watched any of the interviews with Jada Pinkett-Smith when she ever talks about Tupac, everybody knows Jada still loves Tupac, and Will Smith is her number two. And if Tupac was here, that's probably where she would be. And I feel like he knows that he's kind of, Tupac was nothing like Will Smith. Like a tough guy, gangster, literally had thug life tatted on his stomach. You know, a gangbanger, if you will. And so I think she knows her man doesn't have that kind of toughness. And I feel like times like this, he felt like he had to step up and prove it. There might have been a little voice in the back of his head saying, what would Tupac do? And he got up there and decided to show that he was more gangster than we all thought. I don't know. I want you guys to weigh in on so many different aspects of this. Like I said, it's not necessarily a cut and dry black and white scenario. I think it's very nuanced, and there's so many layers to it, because we're talking about defending black women, and he just a man defending his wife. What is off limits for a comedian to be able to joke about? It's kind of the same thing that happened with Chadwick Boseman when he appeared at like a game or something, and people started making fun of him because he looked emaciated, and you know that he don't look like the Black Panther anymore. And there were so many jokes about how much weight that he lost, and then you find out the man had cancer. So it's like, you can't be making jokes about people not knowing all the backstory, but then at the same time, he's a comedian, and oftentimes comedians don't know the backstory. They just make jokes. When he made that joke about Jada, literally everybody laughed, including Will. So how was he supposed to know that it was, the woman's husband laughed. Jada was the only one who didn't laugh. And then we're also going to talk about that, because why didn't Will get kicked out? If that was any other person, any other white host of the Oscars that Will Smith got up there and slapped, I feel like he would have gotten kicked out. But it was black on black violence, so he was allowed to stay. How is that fair? If some rando off the street ran up on stage and slapped the host, he would have gotten kicked out. So what's going on here? I just, like I said, there's so many different levels to it. I also feel disappointed that Will Packer's big night of producing this huge event and all the opportunities he was able to give other black professionals in videography and photography and lighting and wardrobe and all the different things that he was able to do, all of that got overshadowed by this moment. And then people saying you can't say Oscar's so white anymore, as if black people are only known for violence. Like, that's not right. To just lump us all in one group, but it gets done time after time after time again. We are not a violent people. There are some violent aspects in our group, but there are violent aspects in every group. Don't try to make it seem like we're the only ones who would knock you back. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot that I want you guys to weigh in on, so I hope that you guys do. Clearly, I'm passionate about it. Somebody asked me on Instagram if I was going to do an I said what I said about it. Girl, yes. Okay, of course, I'm here. And I want you guys to weigh in. What do you think about last night's fiasco? Do you think it was an appropriate response or not? How do you feel about the Will Packer aspect? How do you feel about the Chris Rock aspect? And also, let me also say this in closing. There is a clip from 2016 where Chris Rock was making fun of Jada before. This isn't the first time. Chris Rock made some kind of comment about how Jada Pinkett-Smith was boycotting the Oscars in 2016 because her husband Will Smith didn't get nominated for his role in Concussion. And Chris Rock said, Jada Pinkett-Smith boycotting the Oscars? That's like me boycotting Rihanna's panties. Because these are both two places that we weren't even invited to. And the crowd erupts in laughter. So it's not the first time that Chris Rock has come for this man's wife. So it's like, how many times could his wife be the butt of jokes? It's one thing when he wasn't there. He was boycotting that year, but he was there. A man making fun of your wife and you sitting right there, what you supposed to? I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I've given you guys a lot to weigh in on, and I hope that you do. If you want more videos like this one, please be sure to thumbs up, subscribe, hit that notification bell, all those good things, and weigh in the comment section below. I love you guys, and I'll see you all in the next video. Till next time, later divas and dudes. Deuces, honey.